I've been reviewing video games for over 10 years now, and playing games for almost 30 years. As development tools such as Unity and Unreal become the standard within game development, I have noticed that many titles were just doing the same things. However, I feel like indie developers are the ones who take those tools and push them to their creative limits, which is then adapted to larger budget games. However, that actually has nothing to do with the game I'm talking about today, and I'm not sure which development tools that it uses. I'm just here to say that it's different. So, in so many words, that leads me to my review of Animal Well, a game that disguises itself as an indie Metroidvania, but within the first few minutes, you realize this game is so much more. I usually open my reviews with the description of the narrative and characters. However, Animal Well doesn't really have a story. There technically is, but uncovering what that looks like and whatever that is just the charm of the experience. As I'm writing this, I'm actually reflecting on my blind experience with the game and how this adventure shaped the past month that I've been playing it. Like the game itself, whatever brings you to play Animal Well will evolve as you spend more time with it. Every time I walked away from it, I thought about it. I was picturing the map in my mind and the things that I've probably missed, piecing together theories about things I should try or ways I can cheese through sections utilizing items. Animal Well is an intelligent game, but you'll be surprised what you can accomplish as the player. That said, I do suggest that you don't even listen to the rest of this review, if you plan on playing it, that is. I can tell you now that I'm going to give the game a 10 out of 10, and I'll spend the rest of this time explaining why that is, without spoiling too much. Still, this is a game that you don't want to spoil for yourself through text or video. It's a game that you'll want to pick up to test your own imagination and understanding of the Metroidvania genre, but in that same breath, Animal Well is unlike any Metroidvania that I've ever played. In Animal Well, you'll assume the role of this blob-like creature that technically has arms and legs, but it's just a circle. You're not told anything, but you have several paths along a 2D world that you can explore. Don't worry, you'll eventually find yourself exploring every direction and area of this significantly extensive underground, hell, prison? I'll let you figure that one out. But here's the main problem with reviewing a game like this. My playthrough will likely not look like yours. Items I acquired early in my playthrough could be found later in yours. No, the item placements aren't random, but the order in which you obtain them is different due to the directionless design. Items in Animal Well are similar to upgrades, but aren't as straightforward as other Metroidvanias. They have multiple uses that aren't explained to you in any capacity, but you'll eventually figure out the extent of their usability by sheer trial and error. If I could just give you any advice, there's an early screen to the top left of the beginning of the game. You'll find a peacock there along with the eggs that you've collected. Yeah, I know I haven't explained what those are yet, but we'll get to it. This leads to obtaining a pencil that you can use to mark on your map. Use it, okay? Enough with the tips. So anyway, eggs are one of the main collectibles in the game and act as rewards for discovering secret areas. However, another vital collectible are these 4 flames that are marked on your map. If you're still reading, nothing in this game tells you to collect eggs or what to do with the flames. You just push forward. So already I'm spoiling the brilliant means of discovery in this adventure. So again, just walk away now to just not spoil anything else. As you play, you'll pass points of interest that seemingly do something, but you don't know what that is. As you test and make discoveries, you'll likely realize that you've been skipping a bunch of essential clues of new areas for the past hours that you've been playing, adding to the consistent back and forth through the map. Now, there are some means of fast travel, but I'm not going to give you a clue about how that works. Anyway, it's there, along with various other means of traversal, where items can also double as ways to access new areas, but again, not gonna go there. And so this Metroidvania is also a hardcore puzzle adventure, where your skills in platforming, puzzle solving, environmental awareness, and imagination are firing on all cylinders, and strangely, you begin to feel like the most intelligent person in the world. It's you against Animal Well, and nothing will stand in your way. While playing, you're taking on each strange new puzzle and false dead ends with grace, and never for a second letting this game win. I became hypnotized by its world and layout, and became immersed in its scanline filtered environments, which, yes, you can turn off, but it does look better with scanlines. You can then find yourself in areas you've been to maybe 5 or 6 times before, armed with new items though that can lead to other places. I found myself obsessed with reading the map and finding where secrets could be. I spent days perfecting my skills with item usage, which is needed if you want to see the hard collectibles. After weeks, I was looking at the environments differently. Once I figured out clues on the walls corresponding to unsolved puzzles, I retraced my steps repeatedly, making significant progress, determined not to be beaten. And then, when you think it's all over, oh, my friend, this adventure has just begun. Even after getting a ending, there are more secrets packed in this game that I can't even find myself, and I can't wait for you all to help me, right? We're friends, right? Come on. Anyway, the pure joy this game brought me through the intelligent chances it takes on the player, pushing me to be creative, can't be glossed over. So what else? The music is atmospheric and immersive. Be sure to listen to it and understand some of the cues, because that may also lead you to a secret area. Boss battles? Well, there isn't any formal combat here, but there are bosses that you'll need to outsmart. However, after getting through everything you likely have before confronting them, I'm sure you'll have everything it takes to get through these baddies. In conclusion, it's not about if you'll play Animal well, but when. I feel like this is the perfect case study for how games should approach game design with player agency. You know the phrase, don't put a square peg into a round hole? Well, this is the kind of game that wants you to at least try and see if it works. I've never been so lost and yet so motivated at the same time, so confused and yet there are several options and directions that I could take. I was so confident only to be tested moments later. Animal Well is a masterpiece. Noisy Pixel is giving Animal Well a 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.